recording ini. Bisa sana? Unmute. You can speak. Now the sound is off. Allah, unmute. You may.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the first activity of ADC Jakarta this year.
Good morning.
The Strength and Conditioning webinar. And we have two excellent speakers for this 3 days webinar. Okay, so again, we would like to remind you to please rename your device to whom who have not used the name and country. So please rename your device with your own name and country. Thank you. And we would like to cordially invite Pak Ria Lumintuarso as ADC Jakarta Director to speak few words. Please, Pak Ria, time's yours.
Okay. Thank you, Ibu Dia. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, coaches. And good morning to our lecturer, Mr. Ekawit Sawangpol from Thailand and Mr. Wiramani Chidabaran from Singapore. So hopefully we will have very good discussion during the 3 days webinar. And I'm sure that for some time we're not in touch with you because of the situation that we not approve the plan. And now we can run because all the plan and also all the World Athletic AAA is ready to support our activities. So the first activities, as Ibu Ria say, is the strength and conditioning. So we will prepare you with some content in this webinar. But of course, we are so sorry because we still cannot be on-site seminar because of the situation we have in ADC and also in our organization. But in the future, I hope that the curriculum of the strength and conditioning will be our formal curriculum. And we already actually trying to have the pilot course for the strength and conditioning, World Athletic and ADC Jakarta in Sri Lanka and also in Indonesia and Malaysia. So hopefully in the near future, every federation will get the strength and conditioning course with a certificate of ADC and World Athletic. So we are very happy to have you here. Maybe some countries send many coaches, but some of the countries still not yet sending the coaches here now. But of course, we are very pleased to have you. And please use this time to discuss and to develop our athletic knowledge, our strength and conditioning athletic in the country to develop our performance. So I think I will not to talk too much. We will discuss soon. And I give back the time to Ibu Ria. Ibu Ria, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Pak Rial Mintuarso. So we give the floor to the lecturers to start the webinar, to start the class. So please, for Mr. Ekawit and Mr. Viramani and also Mr. Ria. Time yours, lecturers. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Ria. Vira and Eka, according to the schedule, I will give introduction. So I will take the time, maybe 30 minutes, to give the introduction to about the strength and conditioning in our system. Vira, I would like you to introduce yourself first and also Ekawit. Eka, can you introduce to our participant?
Me?
Yes, you first and then Vira.
Of course, the senior will start first.
So
My name
everybody
is
should know you.
okay. My name is Ekobit. Normally, I'm the senior lecturer of the WA, and I also work as the national coach for Team Thailand for a long time. So I think I ever seen you sometime, and I will see you again in futures.
Okay, thank you, Eka. And Vira?
Hi everyone, I'm Viramani. I've been involved in World Athletics coaching development since 2005, since I became a lecturer panel, and I've been able to contribute and provide new insight. And of course, I learned from Paria and Pa Ekawit along the way. Pa Ekawit was my teacher actually when I was doing a level 1 course. So over the years, we have this mutual understanding of how certain things can be developed in terms of strength and conditioning. And it's a really nice pleasure to work back with these two gentlemen who have been good, what I call mentors over the years for me. And I'm excited to share more things with you guys.
Thank you, Vira. Okay, so now time to start the first content for this seminar. I would like to share the screen first, then we will discuss about the introduction. Okay, I hope everybody can see this screen. So about the strength and conditioning. So actually, we already start the strength and conditioning course in 4 or 3 years ago. And we use some slide, but we not yet have the formal slide or standard slide. So we try to find out which are better. And this course is all the seminar is supposed to do pilot and also how to set up the good slides. So your feedback will be very important for us in the future. So as we know that our component of training is not only fitness or not only strength and conditioning, but also like in the relay, we have 4, skill, fitness, tactical, and also mental. So these 4 must be in one situation that we have to support each other. You cannot very good in skill, but the fitness level is down. Or you good in skill and fitness level, but tactically your coach not going well for your athlete. So maybe in some competition, the technical will be problem and tactical will be problem. So you cannot win the race. And also for the mental, even skill, fitness, and tactical good, but if your athlete mental is not strong, I'm sure that you maybe win only in the country, but when you go to outside the country in the multi-event, like SAF game, SEA game, Asian games, it will be hopeless. So that's why we have to make sure that 4 kind of skill, fitness, tactical, and mental must be one each other. So that means we will be stabilize the performance. We can win in the country, but also we can win outside the country. So the black box here is when the black box is big, that means the skill, fitness, tactic, and mental is also strong together. But if the black box is small, maybe sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. It's very easy. So that means there's a not stable performance, but it can be unstable. So this is a very difficult situation when you as a coach cannot put the skill, fitness, tactical, and mental together. Of course, in the skill, you already learn a lot from the level 1, level 2 about athletic. And maybe some of you already done so many outside course like in other country. So I think for the skill, we'll not talk too much here, but important is how to use the fitness to support the skill. So we have 3 objectives of strength and conditioning training in our concept. The first is developing muscle system. And the second one is developing energy system. And the third one is developing specific fitness or neuromuscular system. So that means we not only deal with the muscle, but we deal also the energy system. Of course, in athletic, there are many events that you can see what kind of the 3 strength and conditioning you very important one. You develop more in muscle, or you develop more in energy system, or maybe you develop more in neuromuscular system. But I think the neuromuscular system may be very important for all the event in athletics. So that's why we concern how to put the fitness or strength and conditioning specifically in the neuromuscular system of event in athletics. So here, how the muscle works, how to identify the muscle work. So that means in level 1, or old level 1, new level 1, they say that how the muscle work. The muscle work is only can pull, they not push. In reality, maybe muscle can pull and push the result, but actually the process or the system, the muscle can only pull. Here, for example, in bicep muscle, the muscle pulling and the arm is up. But at the other side, when you push the arm with that, not that mean that your bicep is working. The working is the other muscle, antagonic muscle. So that means when you pull the arm up, then the agonist muscle is working. This is the bicep. But you know, when you push the arm, then not the bicep pulling, but the tricep is pulling. So that means a muscle is always working in pair. And this is very synchronized working. So that by in the training, you have to train both. You have to train in the general preparation. You have to train agonic muscle and antagonic muscle. Not only tricep, but also bicep. Not only bicep, but also tricep. Not only quadricep, but also hamstring, for example. So both muscle you have to develop to build up during the general preparation to make sure that the muscle is healthy, the muscle is balanced, and the muscle is easy to work together. So that means in the general preparation, you will do general strength and general movement. So that's very important that we have to do in the strength and conditioning system. So the question is about here in the picture, we see the arm curl exercise and arm pullover. So which one normally is more preferable for you when you see in the gymnastic? When you are in the gym, which one is you always seeing these 2 exercise? Can one give a evidence? Arm curl, right? Yeah, Aswin. So every time I went to gym, I see arm curl. They're happy to have arm curl. Why? What do you think, Aswini? Why they doing arm curl?
His arm puller, it is maybe prone to some injury because it's lifting from both hands. So this is single muscle is working, single unilateral. So that is what I think.
So every coach like to give the arm curl because maybe the muscle build up and muscle look great when the bicep is big, for example. Any other opinion why they like to use arm curl? Prefer to have arm curl?
Like curl and like extension exercises.
Say again, Rosini.
Like curl and like extension. Like
Okay, yeah, of course. But why they normally when we are to the gym, we prepare to see the coaches prefer to use the arm curl or something like that, not arm pullover.
yeah.
It's more of concentric and eccentric movement. We can do both of it.
Okay. Now, which one is useful?
Arm curl.
Arm curl or pullover? For example,
Arm
in
curl.
sport. For example, when you throw the shot, you use bicep or you use tricep?
Triceps.
Tricep. How about javelin?
Pullover.
Pullover, tricep also.
Yes.
How about discus? Chest, yeah? Here. But can you show me which event you use bicep muscle more? Precondition with the bicep main as main movement or as a prime mover?
Javelin throw.
Javelin throw bicep or tricep?
Yeah, yes.
Triceps.
Tricep. Yeah, but that one I ask you, which one is more preferable as a coach? When you go to gym, but a lot of coaches train bicep more than tricep, right? But in the reality, when you throw the implement in athletic, you always use a tricep or maybe chest. And also in other event, other sport, yeah, normally a lot of sport using the tricep, but coach is always train bicep more than they prefer to coach bicep. I don't know, maybe because of when your bicep is look good, then it will be look a very great muscle. But in reality, actually, when you want to train the strength and conditioning, that means you have to understand why you train that muscle. So what for? Of course, in the general preparation, you can train both, and you can train in general strength with the agonic and antagonic muscle. But in the when you come to the specific preparation, you have to see the predominant muscle. So that means you may be more to train the muscle that as a prime movement in the event. So that's very important to see that. So, and you also can sometimes, if you are not sure, you can see this application in your mobile phone. You see the App Store or maybe in your Play Store. You can see the eye muscle or anatomical application. You can see and can maybe when here, for example, after you add you in your application, you can put this muscle and you can push one of the muscle group. Then what exercise you have here? So that means you can use this application to help you to identify the muscle work and the muscle move. So when you push this muscle, then this is the movement. It can be more than 5 movement, 5 training. Then you can choose one. Here you can see what is the technical aspect. So you can use this as tactical mentioned here. So that means the wrong technique will not be happen if you read carefully here. And what kind of muscle the primary muscle is here, and the secondary muscle you can push here. Then you can see what kind of the primary or prime movers and that kind of secondary mover. So this application actually very helpful, but of course it depends on you also, because maybe sometimes you not really want to open or the books, even the books, we have the book, but coaches normally not so easy to read, they're lazy. So that way, of course, we have to learn how to use this application. And what is the important from the application? If you already see your athlete already stagnant with a vertical jump, for example, then you always train this exercise. Maybe you can change another exercise. Maybe this exercise, then maybe the secondary muscle will be changed. If the secondary muscle change, that means this additional muscle work. If the additional muscle work, that means the performance will be up again. So that means you avoid from the stagnation of the muscle movement. Okay, so this about the muscle. And when you train the athlete, we consider about this. I take this from Mr. Viramani. So we have to train part of the body that we call it local stabilizer. Local stabilizer is the green one. So this is about the muscle and joint, the joint of the body, like extremity joint, the foot joint, knee joint. This is local stabilizer. This is how to control the movement, this foundation, how to control body, joint control. This is very important. Otherwise, you will get very easy injury for your athlete when your local stabilizer is not built up and the joint is not controlled. A lot of people, a lot of athletes get the risk of injury with the ankle or maybe with the knee because the local stabilizer is not good. So that why during this time you have in the general preparation, normally you have to put the local stabilizer. It's not only local stabilizer, but also the global stabilizer. Global stabilizer is force production. This is very important here. So here the yellow, the orange one is the global stabilizer. So if the global stabilizer not good, you cannot product force. So like doors, if you see the axis of the door, you see that door, if the axis of the door is good, that means the door is moving very good. But if the axis of the global stabilizer is not good, then the body will not working very good. So of course, this if you train your athlete, you have to do this first, as maybe not only for the strengthening of the muscle, not only for the stabilizer, but also for the prehabilitation to reduce the risk of injury. Because if you do the global stabilizer, the body will be very good shape and the muscle will be more relaxed in the normal walk and they will walk very harmonic. So that means the local stabilizers and global stabilizer is very, very important in the training, pre-training situation. And then global mobilizer, of course, you know already training about the global mobilizer. So here, for example, if you want to strengthen there's a local stabilizer like ankle or maybe like knee and balance, you can use this exercise. And I think this exercise is not that difficult and this is easy to organize. Even you have many athletes, you just easy to do this. And if you do regularly, then the athlete will be benefit on the local stabilizer muscle. And they will be strengthened on the joint and will be control the joint and everything will be back. But if you are not strengthen the joint, strengthen the ligament, and then the athlete will be not really balanced, not really flexible, plasticity, then you will be got a problem in the injury. And here you can strengthen with the rubber band, for example. So now the rubber band is everywhere. So I think you can buy which color, which strength capacity. And I think this is not that difficult for you all. And for the global stability, we choose some plank exercise, maybe bridge, front bridge, side bridge, and also back. So you can continue also with the additional single support. For example, the leg is only one support, or maybe the arm can be one support arm. So I think this must be done because it will be, as I said before, it will be more stabilized, more control, more force, and also reduce the risk of injury. For the beginners, can be 0 to 30 seconds, intermediate to 60 seconds, and advanced is 90 seconds, for example. So you can develop your athlete according to the level of fitness of the athlete and the age, or maybe for the training age of the athlete. So by having this training daily, and you will put in the general preparation first, then I'm sure that you will reduce the risk of injury of the athlete. So this is so important for us, combination between local stability and global stability. So the next one is kinetic link. Kinetic link, beside the local and global stability, kinetic link is very important link between all the joint. In biomechanics, we learn about use all the joint that can be used, or maybe use all the joint in order. So that why in the athlete we have a leg joint, ankle joint and knee joint, then trunk and back joint, shoulder joint, elbow joint, and wrist joint. So when you throw implement, this will be throwing from the leg. It's not direct throw from only from the arm, but also from the leg, trunk, shoulder, elbow, and wrist. So also in the jumping event, when you take off, you use all the joint that can be used. You can use the joint in order. So that means you have to develop the kinetic link of athletic movement. Then what kind of training you do that? For example, I think this are all also very famous training. We use the medicine ball for many throwing, like overhead back throw, overhead front throw, side throw, and you use all the implement. I mean, we use all the movement in the way the medicine ball. And if you use the weight, you can use, for example, snatch, or maybe you use clean and jerk. So this will use all the joint. Then make the joint harmonize, working with harmonies. With harmony, and application of the technique will be very easy. But if you train always in the part by part training, or maybe in the local muscle, then maybe at the end, you have to work all the muscle. You have to work all the joint. So why you not train all the joint? So the way you train, please, after you have the stability, you try to train with all joint involved in this situation. And for example, this also, you can from stand up, or maybe you can use with kneel, or you in the another position. So everything will be possible. Then this is easy for you athlete to move in the event later. Okay. Now the last for the muscle. So you know the muscle work. The type of the working is eccentric and concentric, for example, beside the static and dynamic, but there's eccentric and concentric. Where the muscle work is pulling and shortening. Yeah, but some muscle, sometimes we see the muscle work pulling but stretch. So for example, here, this is the stretch situation, and this is the shortening situation. When you jump down from the box, for example, drop jump, you see the muscle in the calf. This position is a stretch. This muscle is stretched, but this is pulling, because the muscle try to avoid the body down too much. So and also to maintain the contact time, not too much. Because when you do the drop jump or plyometric, you have to make the contact time is as fast as possible, very quickness. reactive. So that's why your eccentric strength must be built up here. This eccentric strength down, and then come up with the concentric strength. So in every event in athletic, maybe in the jumping event, during takeoff, during run approach, you use eccentric, concentric, eccentric, concentric. Also, throwing event, when you do the glide for the shot put, after power position, you do the eccentric. Then when you throw, you do concentric. So this always. But a lot of coaches train only the concentric. They not so many training about the eccentric. My question is how to train the eccentric strength. Anyone? Maybe you have experience how do you train the eccentric strength? What movement?
Sir, leg extension, leg
Leg
curling
extension. Which one is eccentric?
Eccentric hamstring muscle when it is lowering down.
Hamstring muscle when the leg extension is going down. Okay. Or
Yes.
when
it is
when
going
the weight
down.
Yeah.
When it is coming up, that is concentric of the hamstring muscle. When it is extending, that time it is eccentric of the hamstring muscle.
Yeah, when the weight is going down, you hamstring muscle is working eccentric. Yeah, but how the walking? The walking must be fast or the walking slowing?
Slow.
So that means you maintain the tension of the muscle to get the eccentric, right? You can train also eccentric.
Eccentric, we should follow it at the starting of the off-season or general preparation phase.
Say
we
again.
should start
like flexion extension.
Flexion and extension, something like that. And the eccentric is during the extension, right?
Standing long jump.
Yeah, standing long jump. When you going down, then you do the eccentric, right? But when you jump, you do the concentric. Okay. How about when you train in the squat? When you do the eccentric phase?
loading down. When we are loading down.
Okay, loading down. Which
that
muscle?
Time quadricep muscle is eccentric.
Okay, quadricep muscle. That's why sometimes when you do the squat, if you want to make the eccentric or maybe eccentric muscle good, so you do when loading down is slowly, right? Is it that? Yeah.
Yes.
So this is useful for the event in athletic, for example, in the jumping event. The eccentric strength, which phase in jumping event you use the eccentric strength?
Penultimate stride.
Okay. And beginning of the takeoff, right?
Beginning of the takeoff, yes.
Yeah, during we call it amortization, right?
Amortization, yes, perfect.
Yeah, in the amortization you use the eccentric strength, but you have to do the amortization very good, because when you do too long and you bend the knee too much, then that means the amortization is not good, and also the eccentric strength is also not good. So that's why you have to find out later. Maybe Mr. Eka, Mr. Vira will discuss also about the strength and how to apply the strength training for the event of athletic. So this time I just give you the basic of the introduction to know that this will be useful for you when you train strength for your athlete. We go from the stability exercise, all the balance and all the muscle build up. Then after that, you go for the kinetic link, mean you use all the joint in order and the muscle build up in all the harmonization. Then the last one is how to do the reactive strength, how to do the power, how to do the quickness. So that means the precondition for this training must be stability first, and also maximal strength first, and also the harmonization kinetic link first. Then you can come to here. But before you come to here, of course, you have to train this kind of training first to make sure your athlete healthy and your athlete not a risk of injury. So you can reduce risk of injury if your athlete before you train for the power, before you train of the reactive and quickness, you train first with the stability, and you train also the harmonization of muscle movement. So it is very important. So this according to the muscle. So we go for the second step, developing energy system. Because in athletic, we not only train, we not only deal with the muscle, but also we deal with the energy system, right? So of course, you learn already in level 1, this picture about the cardiopulmonary system and cardio system. So always muscle and cardio is very important. So when you see many sport, for example, extreme sport like Superman, like ninja, what is we call it when we do the ninja competition? Yeah, the American Ninja Warrior or something. So every athlete, when they are done in the station, the presenter will ask, why you done in the fifth station? Then the athlete will say, maybe muscle or maybe cardio. So this is very important. That's why in training, you involve the muscle and cardio system. So this is our duty to work as strength and conditioning coach. So you not only work in athletic, maybe you can work also in another sport, but you will deal with the muscle and you deal also with the cardio system. Okay, in athletic, of course, we have the distance. When you run, you have the distance of the running event, like from 30 meters, 60 meters, 100 meters. Then you will deal with what kind of energy system is that. So in level 1, I think you already make the percentage of the muscle. Which one is the more which one is the more anaerobic? The shortest or the longest?
Shorter.
Shorter. How about the aerobic system? This is longer runner. Yes, in marathon, for example. So when you get the percentage, which one is 50-50?
400 meter.
Which one? 800?
400 meter. 400 meter.
400, 800.
Okay, we will see. Here, 80% is 30 meter. Then 100 meter is 70% anaerobic lactic. And here, 400. Yeah, you already know there is almost 50-50. That means 43 and 45%. Then in distant runner, there's more in the aerobic capacity. Yep. Any comment on that? So for the energy system training is more preferred in the running event, yeah. And but other event like jumping event and throwing event, we mainly working in ATP, CPA, yeah, energy system. So that means it's anaerobic energy system. So why here mentioned also aerobic system is 1%, 2%, 5%. That means you no need to train, or you still need to train. For example, in 100 meter. What do you think?
Need to train, sir. Aerobic part is very much important, so that our deceleration part will come at later. If we improve the aerobic endurance, so the deceleration part will come later.
Okay, thank you. So and also to develop ability to recover fast, right?
Yes, for recovery part.
Yeah, so in the training you need to recover fast. That means you will work on the aerobic training. So I think you can see this one as a part of important standard for you to train. Even the aerobic is very less, but you still need. But what is the method normally you use when you have 5% aerobic capacity need? What method you use? Continuous run or fartlek or interval or tempo? Or, for example, for the jumping event or for throwing event, what method you use normally?
60 meters.
60 meters, yeah. Can be for jumping event because you have the approach run, right? But maybe What is the difference between the 60 meter in anaerobic and in aerobic?
60 meter anaerobic.
Is it the same? The same intensity? The same repetition?
Different. And the rest also.
Maybe the rest is different. And how about the intensity?
Yeah. Low for aerobic.
For aerobic is lower. And maybe in the jumping event, you can use the rhythm. Yeah, rhythm means no need to have a high intensity, but you run in rhythm. And then you can have some rest between, and no need to have 1.5 to 3 minute rest. So you will train the aerobic capacity, but according to the event, for example, for jumping event or for throwing event. No need to run, for example, continuous run, too many continuous run. Maybe is your athlete will leave you about the jumping event and sprint, for example. Yeah. So here, all the energy system and how to identify that you athlete have good cardio system. For example, here, ability to walk longer in given intensity. Maybe 400 meter is long, but you have to use also the cardio system. And here, ability to recover fast. How you identify the athlete has already good or still weak?
Oh, yeah, very good.
Yep.
Got it. Oh, anh Châu này,
Who speak?
Windows, sir. Heart rate maybe.
Microphone.
Yes, sir. Please repeat question one more.
So how you identify your athlete has already good cardio system?
By testing of VO2 max.
Okay, you can test VO2 max or maybe VCR, right?
Yeah, their aerobic capacity.
Yeah, and do you have standard in VO2 max for every event? For example, 3,000 meter. What is the VO2 max standard?
VO2 max should be more than 55, 56.
Okay, for example, yeah. So let's see the next slide. So you correct that you test the VO2 max, right? For the normal people, this more than 60 in 18 to 25 years old is perfect, excellent. But when athlete is big problem. Okay, here we'll see the athlete. For athletic, discus is also some VO2 max here. And also running this until 80 in 85 or woman 50 to 75. So you find out the standard here VO2 max in your athlete. So you can see your athlete is get enough cardio respiratory system good or not. But you can use also another test. It's not only VO2 max test like bulk 15 minutes or maybe using another test, but you can use also test based on the distance. Here, 1500.
By Cooper 12 minutes.
Cooper for the young athlete can be used. Yeah, or maybe you can use this. If your athlete is long distance runner, you can use longer. But if your athlete maybe 300, 200 or 100, you can maybe use this. And you can see the VO2 max here. Okay.
This one for senior athlete or development athlete?
It depends. If you are in the senior athlete, you test longer. But if you are in the development athlete, you can test under the 1500 meter. So that means maybe using Cooper, 12,000 meter. 1200 meter or 12 minutes, yeah, running, or 2.4 meter, 2.4 kilometer, or 12 minute running.
Don't
This is for
prepare.
the development athlete. But for the senior athlete, you can choose according to the specialized of the athlete. Some athlete for 100 or maybe 100 meter to 100 meter, so you choose which distance you're looking for. But if your athlete is long distance, you can use another distance, maybe more distance for that. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
And you can train based on this meter per second. For the long distance runner, of course, this you use VCR like this, and you can use training with VCR based on VCR. I think everybody in level 1, level 2, you learn about the VCR. Okay, and on the last but not least is developing the specific fitness neuromuscular. So it will be also discussed every day. So if today we'll discuss about the general, but tomorrow we'll discuss about the how to use the neuromuscular system and fitness system. So we combine between the fitness and movement, between the mechanic and dynamic. So here you learn already in level 1. We have strength, speed, and endurance, and combine between strength, speed, and endurance. Then you know already about the need of the fitness from different events. I don't need to explain anything. You already know in level 1. Then here, for the energy system, you already identify also. And the last but not least, you see what you event. Then you try to decide what endurance you need. Maybe very important for you, endurance, or maybe just important, or maybe less important, or not important. So endurance, how many starts in your event, and speed, how many? For example, in jumping event, how many start for speed, then strength, coordination, flexibility. So you just try to identify your event with this. Yeah. Then in training, we will use what to do. We just doing what to do, your event with what you need. Maybe maximal strength, maybe endurance, maybe speed. Muscle, which muscle is mainly endurance capacity neuromuscular system. Then how to do? Mr. Vida and Mr. Eka will discuss with you about the method, how to train endurance, how to train speed, how to train strength today. So then they will give you also some means, what kind of training, what kind of movement you can do for the means of the training. Then important one is unit of the training, the load unit. So intensity, volume, and recovery. Because as you know that different to train power, different also to train maximal strength, and very big difference to train the strength endurance. So the load, intensity, volume, and recovery is very important here. Okay. Last but not least, the last day we will discuss about the when to do, the training plan, periodization. Yeah. So in the general preparation, what you do. In the specific preparation, what you do. And in the pre-competition and competition, what you have to do for strength, what you have to do for speed, what you have to do for endurance, for example. So our course is based on this question. So I hope that in 3 days, we know to answer what to do, how to do, and when to do. So that's all my presentation for today, this morning. Thank you very much for your attention. And I give back the time to Ibu Ria, or maybe to Mr. Vira for the next presentation. Thank you very much, Ibu Ria.
Thank you. Thank you, Pak Ria. So,
thank you.
Pak Eka or Pak? Sorry. So we have break for 5
Thank you,
minutes.
sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, to
Can-
make the next lectures to make a presentation preparation. So okay, we will have break 5 minutes. Thank you.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning, Mr.
I'm
President.
Suritra Karnanaik from Sri Lanka.
Yes, hello, good morning.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning, Mr. Anurada.
I am Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Budia.
Halo Winda. Hello Ibu Winda.
Hello, Ibu. Just for 5 minutes.
Yes, we will have break 5 minutes.
Ibu Ruyat, can I check? You see the slides only, or you see the slides with the notes?
You are in coordination of movement patterns?
Only the slides, right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yes. Welcome.
But I see a slide.
Vera, I can see the next slide.
Oh, so that means I'm in the wrong
Oh, yeah.
wrong mode. Just give me a minute.
So there are two.
Yes.
Okay.
So I need to I need to adjust.
Vera, you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear. Okay, now can you see only the presentation?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's the full one.
Only the full one. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Then I'm in the correct. Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Okay, so it's calling to be back to the class. Thank you. Yes, Pak Fira, time's yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. It's really nice to see every one of you on this platform. Again, like what Mr. Paria mentioned, it has been for a very long time. We have always been looking forward to do a more what I call face-to-face session. I think ADC Jakarta is working towards that, and many of us are still looking towards that opportunity where we can meet in face-to-face, where the discussion can be a lot more engaging, as you can see. But in the meantime, I think this is the next best. Okay, as we start, we have seen some of the good directions that Mr. Ria has given us in terms of how conditioning trainings could look like. And in that aspect, I think what is very important, it is like putting up a lot of jigsaw puzzles. You know, we are trying to fit in different things. And in that, I find, or most of us, through our working experience, find that coordination is the most important jigsaw piece that actually help you to formulate or put together the whole performance picture. Okay. So in that aspect, how do we say a performance movement is coordinated? Okay, we always be wondering, okay, how a movement can take place. Most of the times, it is through what we call a perception. Perception means what I see, and then I'm able to execute the movement. And this is a very important process that helps a well-coordinated movement to take place. So we ask, how does these things can happen? Okay. What we know is we have our central nervous system, which is basically the messaging board from the brain to the different part of the body. But what is very important is the brain itself. It's like an information hub, the cerebellum, the brain, containing informations or templates that has able to pull out a certain movement pattern that's required, and then send it through the central nervous system to execute. And that's where a targeted performance usually takes place. So central nervous system working together with the information hub, which is the brain, creating a targeted movement. This is how we will always function on a very day-to-day basis. Even from the way I'm talking right now, opening or carrying your daily essentials at home, or probably even sports performance. This is always how it works because the brain has certain reference to do. If it doesn't have a reference, of course, it will create one of its own. So how in this aspect, the whole coordinated overall performance can take place, okay? I believe many of you are familiar with the game volleyball. Okay, let's see the video. Yeah, keep on playing it so that those having lagged a little bit at least have a time to catch the video. Okay, I believe many of you are familiar with how a volleyball game played. Of course, in volleyball, different body parts can be used, not just the hand. Sometimes they can also use the legs. I think we have seen all this before. So the player that is reaching out to save the ball has to make a decision. And if she sees the ball coming over the net, she got to make a quick decision. Okay, a few things that goes through her mind before she wants to ensure the team doesn't lose the point. So she must make a very split-second decision. So how does this go through? This is usually goes through what we call a drive, emotional aspect. It means basically she knows that she has to do something to save the team from losing the point. Then she knows how to orientate herself, okay, where she need to head towards, okay, what she need to do. And then she takes the decision whether to use the legs or use the hands to save the ball. And then she executes, and then the result takes place. This is how we call them, that's from the elevation of emotional level, going to the cognition level, and then the sensory level. So this is always takes place in every decision making, and it happens very quickly. And the only way it takes place is because the athlete must have rehearsed this many times in her practice. So she knows exactly when this thing happens, what she needs to do, okay, or what decision she needs to make. So this is how usually a performance is always coordinated. So let's talk about a little bit of what I would call the central nervous system process ability. We know that our body is a big mechanism that has a lot of things to do. It does physiological work with and biochemical processes, anticipation and control processes, thoughts and imaging, information feedback, and of course, inner and outer process of perceptions. So all these are what the central nervous system will be doing. And most of the time, due to the what I call experiences, the body and the mind goes through, it moves from this, I believe you all know, the unconscious incompetence into conscious incompetence to conscious competence to unconscious competence level. Basically, going from not knowing what to do, beginning to understand I need to do something, but I'm not good at it. Then you're making a very conscious, competent ability, and then moving into what we call the unconscious competent level. That means that it happens instantaneously. Just like if I were to throw a ball at you, you don't need to think that what to do. Either you're going to move your head to dodge the ball, or you're going to raise your hand to catch the ball. So this happens instantaneously. So this is what we call unconscious competence. So in many times, we want athlete to do that. And that's where what we call in our sports arena, we design movement that are stored in our brain. So exactly what to do, when to do, and how to do it. So this is how our whole central process ability works. So in that, you mentioned you have seen Paria sharing a little bit on what we call how the movement works, eccentric, concentric. So again, contraction, relaxation. Before we start, let's do a little bit of a small activity. What you're going to do is you're going to create a number 3 on one hand, and you're going to create a number 2 on the other hand. Okay, so what I want you to do, take your time to consciously change it actively. See how many of you can try to do that, and then you go faster. Can you try that? Okay, so 1, 3, 1, 2, or okay sign, peace sign, and then you constantly keep changing it. You see how far, okay, once you understand the changes, see whether can you go as fast as you can. Okay, so this is where we talk about when you are relaxed, the contraction and relaxation takes place rather quickly. But if I'm not sure of the action, I'm going to spend more time controlling all the movement. So in the end, you will tend not to do it as fast as possible. Or the moment you go faster, you lose concentration, you lose the muscle contraction and relaxation ability. This is where the coordination of how this whole system can work is developed. So for us, this is a very important process in what we call the functional performance pyramid. So if you have heard what Paria mentioned, there is a process of how we prepare the athlete's body. So again, giving them what we call the functional movement, a lot of movement flexibility in the different joint areas. Then we move into what we call functional performance, where the strength efficiency and the different movement qualities improve. And finally, we move them into what we call the sport-specific functional skills and performance abilities. All this is what we have defined as the ability to create motor coordination, which is a foundation and for enhancement. That's how the whole system will be comprised. Okay, I think we just saw Paria showing this diagram at the top, which is very familiar in our World Athletics coaching menu, where we have this structure. Probably because I'm trying to see how we can give a little bit more definition towards coordination. The coordination sits in the heart of the whole circle, but we need to have a little bit more what I call a support in knowing, okay, what is coordination is all about? How can it be redefine it? Okay, so this is where we take into the whole motor coordination in terms of skill. There will be 2 elements to it. One is what we call the energy determining skills. Basically, we call them the conditioning skills. And the other one is called the information orientating skills or orientated skills, which is more coordinated related or coordinative related. And below that, you can see we have the endurance, strength, speed, and coordination. And if you can see that speed sitting in the heart of the entire process has both information and energy determination. Okay, so this is where it's important when we are developing speed. We don't just develop from an energy perspective, but we also want to develop from the information orientation perspective. And to support that whole speed, that is the key for our sport, is coordination. Coordination plays an important role where it has a lot of other elements that will couple together. Okay. So this is to help us to guide, okay, exactly specifically how am I preparing this information part of it. So when we take information as a coordination as a element of support, we have what we call a performance profile for all the movement tasks. Okay, task basically what we need to do. In here, we have the coordinative skill that always takes place, which is supported by what we call motor control skills or adaptive skills. In a sense, motor control means we talk about closed skills, and adaptive skills or adaptation skills is what we call as open skills. Okay, what is closed skills? Closed skills, if you take it from a track and field perspective, those who are running, those who are doing jumping events, throwing events, where the performance is purely dictated by the athlete themselves. When they go into the ring for throw events or when they line up in the runway, there's no other outside element for them to worry about. Open skills, on the other hand, it's what we call where predominantly a lot of it happens in our distance races, tactical races, where the pace constantly changes. So the athlete has to adapt and quickly reshuffle his strategy of how to run. So that is a skill set itself. So that is coordinative skills. And once we develop them, of course, we want to put them into what we call a coordinative condition. Condition means situations. Okay, in that we have what we call information requirement, motor, pressure, conditions. Okay, we'll cover them both separately and probably in a bit more informative. So in here, you can see, like I mentioned, control abilities is a standardized movement that is in a predetermined technical discipline. I already shared that part to you guys. And in adaptation abilities is for sports and constantly changing situation as well as under little standardized conditions. Okay, so let's look at this game of table tennis. Okay, because we want to show that it's not just track and field specific, but it can be multi-sports. So just observe the player in the black, okay, attire, which is closest to us. Okay, so you can see that throughout that whole short game that is you observe, there's a few things that takes place. The first one, of course, it is what we call movement coupling. Okay, movement coupling is where the athlete is able to use both upper and lower limbs in sequence and in synchronized motions. So this is where it is constantly moving. Next comes what we call kinesthetic differentiation. Kinesthetic differentiation means how far is he able to differentiate what is coming towards him. He need to adjust himself in terms of how much force to give to the so-called ball. And of course, next one will be body balance, which you can observe when he have a slight stumbling moment. He has to find a way to balance himself and still maintain his posture to continue playing. Spatial orientation, which is the next one, is where he needs to know where he has to position himself for the ball that is coming. So again, spatial orientation is very important for all of our track and field athletes, especially when you're talking about where should you place your foot. If you are doing in long jump, if I have to stretch too much out in the takeoff, I'm probably going to decelerate my speed of takeoff as well. So again, all these are important things to look into. Next goes what we call rhythm sensing. This, I think, without doubt, it is important. In table tennis game is how to maintain that fast rhythm that's required to ensure I'm still in the game. And for our track and field, rhythm sensing is a key element, whether if it's going to be sprints, throws, or even in jumps, where we have a lot of what I call interrupt. If the rhythm is interrupted, you will definitely see the performance deteriorate or doesn't come up as expected that you want to have. Okay, so rhythm sensing is important. Optimal reaction, again, from the starts when you do 100 meters, where important is the optimal reaction that helps them to make sure that they can slip off. Situational adjustment, this is where it is basically what's happening around the situation around them. And it helps to create what we call unnecessary, what I call changes that they have to adapt and still stay in a performance. So these are all what I call coordinative skills. So because of the importance of both the control ability, closed skills, and open skills, you will find that there will be some predominance movement patterns or coordinative skill will be more influential. Okay, I'm not saying that all of it will not be important, but that these few could be more influential than the others. Okay, and vice versa for open skills, situational awareness adjustments plays a lot more influential factor as compared to a closed skills. So this is where we take that skill set prepared already into what we call into application. So earlier I'm preparing the skills of the athlete, but now I need to bring it to what I call applied situations where exactly they're going to use them for their benefit. And to help us to guide that, we have this what I call a platform created by Noemai from Germany, who have done this for extensively. It's called coordinative performance requirements. There are a few parts to it, so I'll try to explain them gradually. First important part is how the athlete takes the information. How are they perceiving the information? Remember, we talk about perception plus movement process is the key for well-coordinated movement. So perception is very important. How athletes takes information. There are few stages or few ways they can do. Of course, the first one is the optical version. So basically, the eye seeing the movement, okay, eye seeing the requirements and sending signals to the brain, and the body is able to react. Next one will be acoustic, hearing. Then tactile, touches. Kinesthetic, basically it happens within the joints, okay, how much it has to extend or protect itself. And the last one is the what we call the vestibular, or basically our inner ear balance. So these are all informations that is considered called what I call receptors or analyzers. These are basically things that helps to help the body to get information on board. And in many situations, you will see that you'll see the word at the bottom, balance requirement. We know that in throws before the athlete starts, okay, they are in two stance, and then they constantly progress to a single stance support, and then ultimately finishing with a double stance. So this is their balance requirement. In running events, it's predominantly a lot more what we call a single stance performance, except for the starts. So again, it's important to identify where is this different balance requirements needed and how it influence how the information is coming into the athlete. Because if I were to stay on a single leg, now I have to balance, and then my information coming in could be distorted. So as a coach, is that a requirement in my performance that I want to influence and change? Because when your performance doesn't take place well, you want to see where the athlete doesn't get information effectively to implement the skill sets that we talked about earlier. So this is basically one set of it. Then comes the other half of what we call the motor pressure condition. Here, as you can see, there's precision pressure, time pressure, complexity pressure, situational pressure, load pressure. Okay. Precision pressure, it means the accuracy of getting that particular skill set no matter what. So again, what do we talk about accuracy or precision? You're talking about in jumps, takeoff boards, precision requirement pressure under a variety of situations where probably the athlete could have faulted 2 jumps. There's only one more jump to go. It is a pressure to make sure that the jump is precise to validate or valid the distance. So this is how you can change what I call the skill sets into when it comes to application. What are the different pressure conditions you're going to have? Time pressure, basically performance in time-based related. You have to ensure that the athlete reaches a certain point at that time. If not, it's going to be left behind. Complexity pressure, basically we don't have much of a complexity in track and field more, but in martial arts we have where the athlete might need to deliver a what I call a punch and a leg combinations. So that's what we call complexity pressure. So again, if there's a need for you to have both limbs, upper and lower limbs, to coordinate, that comes under a complexity pressure. Situational pressure is basically what's happening around them. Maybe the excitement level goes up, there's jeering, there's booing going on, and athletes still need to calm themselves and perform. So that is also what we call situation. The load pressure is a lot more on psychological and physiological load. Okay, so basically how the athlete is able to handle this pressure and still perform. In all our sports or events, it's good to look at all these few pressures, and then you see what is the predominant ones and how my athlete is coping in performing the performance. Then we know how to orientate our coordinative performance in that area. So again, not just picking the skills up, but putting them through motor control or motor pressure conditions helps a lot more in the development aspect of it. Okay, so this is how the basis of these two works. And then now we move into what we call how we orientate them into the whole structure. So if I take the triple jump as our guide, so in technique and training structure, we have the approach, hop, step, and jump. Structure of the phase, there's a run up, there's end, there's a takeoff, just before takeoff, there's a preparation one, basically in the air, taking off into the air, and then preparation two is basically preparation for landing. Vice versa, it goes forward to steps. Preparation one, takeoff. Preparation two will be in getting ready for landing. And then same thing goes to the jump. That is how our structure for triple jump works. Action that is needed, acceleration to frequency running to prepare the body to speed up, because speed is a critical factor for our running jumps. And then what will be required? Flat drive, active foot plant, that will be what is needed in terms of the preparation for takeoff. Takeoff, foot dorsiflex, okay, active takeoff after the second one. Same thing, step over actions of the ankle, knee, and then active takeoff for the second preparation. Active knee drive towards the landing, and then how the arms and legs swing through for landing, active landing, to ensure that minimize of loss of distance. What will be the components of fitness then? Okay, we know that acyclic means the pattern doesn't get repeat. Cyclic means the pattern get repeats itself. So acceleration usually is not is acyclic, and then cyclic is where the maximum speed or optimal speed is achieved. And the last three steps is again a non-repeatable speed pattern that we will continue on and on. Coordination, basically from how the body is able to move from a horizontal velocity and then transferring to what I call a vertical element of it, and then coming back to maintaining the horizontal aspect of it. Movement stability that takes place. I need to mention, my balance. Acyclic movements in terms of how the limbs come up. Strength and flexibility will be part of that. Then I move down to what I call the training contents. Okay, where and how am I putting them together? Speed drill, bounding, transitional drills, flying 30, acceleration runs, rhythmic runs. These are all will be part of what I call approach run preparations. Then a bit about tempo runs. Tempo runs basically is making sure that I have endurance abilities, but not in super over required endurance. Rhythmic run into takeoffs, acceleration runs into the takeoff. So these are a way I prepare the transitions. Active ankle jumps, core strength, hip stability to help the whole absorption of what I call the drop in the plyometric aspect of it, and still maintain a solid posture. Vertical jump, horizontal jumps, depth jumps helps to create not just for strength, speed element of it, but also the speed strength element of it. Okay, and then you have the variety of speed strength, special strength, specific strength, and of course, functional flexibilities to help us to finish off with this whole contents. So if we take our training structure, these are all the elements that we want to put together and train them in a sequence. And this is where the coordinative abilities will come into, where we know that what is required, what kind of, there need to be a rhythm, there need to be differentiation, there need to be a balance. Reaction, differentiation, balance for the technique, takeoff and step. Of course, reaction and orientation towards where they are supposed to end. So again, all these are part of that coordinative skills. Again, we can have run fast with rhythm, horizontal takeoff from short approaches, multiple jumps, horizontal jumps, and acrobatic elements to help in the preparation. And in actualization, we know that we have precision run. This is where, remember, we're talking about targeting mid takeoff board as precise as possible. So again, how the eyes of the athlete is ensuring when they approach the board, still not losing track of what is required to be done. Precision takeoff, followed by active cyclic action of the arms of the takeoff legs, active step overs from the takeoff, active knee drive for jumps, and active hand-leg coordination for the landing. So this is how you will face your coordinative technique training as well. So when you prepare your training content, you also have this coordination part of it paired together, so to help you to know what you're looking for, what you need to intervene to ensure that the required coordination support takes place. And then comes the bigger challenge for us, okay? As coaches, we want to see a different layering of what I call performance practice. The foundation, of course, is always going to be what we call performing the skills. Performing skills means you start understanding what the skill need to be done and how to do it. Then we move into what we call performing the skill very well. That means I'm able to perform the skill consistently very well. Then we move into what we call performing the skill very well and at speed. This is basically what we call the foundation aspect of how a coordinative skill can take place. So these three things has to be existing before I move on to implementing more things. If you remember what Paria mentioned, remember creating a solid body structure, then we are conditioning it to help the skill sets to mature. This is where you're looking at preparing the body to ensure that the skill sets can be performed well. Then we move into what we call the specific element of preparation for performance. Now comes the element of performing the skill at very well at speed under fatigue. What is fatigue? Tiredness. Where would you experience if the athlete is required to jump 6 jumps or 6 throws or go through hits, semi, and final? This is where the athlete has to still perform as effectively as possible. Okay, I'll pause here for a while. I'll throw a question to everybody. What do we require as a coach to understand my athlete is actually doing well in this stage 4? How would I know? Okay, you bring them for competition. Your athlete goes to a performance where he's doing it very well at speed under fatigue. How would I know the athlete is actually doing or is getting better at this? What are the indicators do we have as coaches? What do you think will be the indicators?
Through his performance, sir.
Okay, example. What do you mean by performance? I like the idea. What do you mean by performance? How would you determine the performance?
The training method.
Method, okay. When you say performance, what is the indicators you get as a coach to say that the athlete is doing well under pressure or under fatigue? How would you know that? Using performance as your guide.
Heart rate per rate. We have to check heart rate.
Okay, heart rate.
And
Okay.
As well. Pulse rate as well.
Pulse rate and heart rate as indicator for the performance. Okay. Anything else?
Less mistake.
Less mistake. Okay, nice. Okay, very good. Very good. Less mistakes. We make less mistakes. Okay.
Sir, performance and competition.
Yeah. Yeah.
From one competition, we go to the next competition, the performance goes up, then it's improving.
Okay, good. But how you know that he has, so you're saying that the performance keeps on going up. Okay, good. That's a good indicator. Okay, anything else?
You have a good plan.
Good plan. A bit more specific. What do you mean by good plan?
It make a year plan and short term and long term.
Yeah, correct. So that is a planning part. But when we take just from the execution of the performance, how can I know that the athlete is actually managing this element well? That means performing at the skill very well at speed under fatigue. How would I know?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. So what you all mentioned is all very good indicators. So very important part that comes next is the before this, the very good part is that we will look for the performance have a good level of less mistakes, like mentioned by Krishna, and then consistent. That means it will be very consistent. And then you can see it as a improvement taking place. So this shows that the athlete is able to adapt to performing well and under pressure, so under fatigue. So here, what we look for when I say consistency means what? Out of, let's say, 6 throws, okay, you know that 4 throws are very close within each other. That means we are looking at about within 2% or within 1.5%. Not like one throw is 45 meters and the next throw is 35 meters. So then it's a big, vast difference. What we want to see for consistency, even within the 6 throws, how closely are the performance. So this also gives you an indication that the athlete is beginning to perform the skill well. If you're taking running events, he's taking about looking from the heats to semifinals to the finals.
Trenisha! Hey, no full time on sale. That's make it
Okay, we are looking for what we call the consistency in the 3 performance. How far are they? And then from there, if you have another close competitions, how quickly are they able to adapt? So these are things that help us to understand. Okay, so next one, we move into what we call under pressure. This is where the athlete goes through in real competitions, performing, going for medals, going for PBs, going for regional competitions. This is where the athlete's ability to perform takes place. So this is where most of the time we are introducing our juniors or even youth athlete into this arena. So this is where you want to see how can they handle pressure. Because before that, in the first 4 steps, they don't really have any pressure at all. It's just performance by itself. Now a requirement is set upon them. So how are they managing it? Then it goes into what we call consistently under pressure, able to consistently perform under pressure. So this shows that they're able to master the performance at competition level. And finally, at competition situations, which is many very critical competitions they're able to keep. So this is how, as coaches, we are building our athletes for the different coordination abilities we have built in, and then putting them into a real application where they can show this. And to achieve them all, we move into what we call how we organize our learning for all these elements to take place. Okay, so remember, don't forget, we are always at this level, we are also teaching the athlete how to learn about themselves, how to educate themselves to perform well. Okay, so it can be from static to dynamic, which are some things we have covered in our level 1 before, simple to complex, slow to fast, unloaded to loaded. So what do you mean by unloaded? Unloaded means we don't have external load on them, so they only use their own body weight. Loaded means using external loads. Or be like maybe probably having a dumbbell and all that. Later I'll show you some example. So this is how we will prepare our athlete when we introduce coordination and conditioning. Okay, so the following few slides is just some practical applications that I have implemented again over the years with one of my athletes. This athlete of mine is actually a para athlete. He is in the T20 category, which is intellectual impairment. So a lot of my development as a coach in this area of coordination actually developed when I started coaching him, because how he perceives information, how he takes information on, gives me a lot of what I call questioning of myself as a coach, and I want to see how well I can help him to improve. So some of the things that you can see, some of the programs we introduced to help him to understand his own body and how he can function well. Okay, so the first one is basically simple, I think, medicine ball throws. But landing with single leg. So again, a lot of it is to create the coordinative movement at what position as to hold, isometric work as well. So this is more kinesthetic, balance coupling focus. So where can I do them? Usually I do it for in general phase to develop a certain awareness. In specific phase, I will do it more for maintenance. So this is how I will probably challenge myself or challenge the athlete. This is for the whole posterior chain element of it. Okay, this is a lot of what we call the loaded kinesthetic. So again, a lot of signaling to the joints to know how to hold itself. Again, dynamic balance is involved. Normally, we start off without the jump, so just the weight plate alone, without the explosiveness. Then, as the season goes into competition, we move it with jumps. So again, creating a little bit more power-driven activities. This is just general work, just to give a lot of coordinative signals to the body, kinesthetic awareness to the body, so that way it's not just doing a normal hurdle step over, but doing a variety of movement within the action. So again, a lot of kinesthetic movement and awareness goes through there. So to create that movement, what I call understanding. So you can also hear the sounds of him struggling. Okay, the piston squat is something that we do quite constantly. But here, what I've done as a challenge for him is that he has to do it with eyes closed. So that way, there's no referencing. He's purely relying on how the body is sensing back to him. So again, a lot of motor. So the confident part, you can see that the second one, he was even happy that he can start doing this action because he knows that he has managed to perfect that action that he's focusing on. Again, when we do certain activities where you put them under challenge, you can also find their preference and non-preference side. That means one side of the body, left part of it, let's say he's a right-hander, his right tend to perform better than the left. So it's always good to put them through what I call the various what I call challenges with the both side, so that it gives a little bit more bilateral movement requirements and also corrections as well for you as coaches. Okay, next one. Oh, sorry. Okay, this again from a race platform, expected to do what I call a very quick stability. So again, you can see that he does struggle a little bit, but it's just all part of the plan to make sure that he's able to hold the stiff joint locations that we want to focus on. Okay, another one. Again, very basic level of what I call pull stretch, but with stopping at what I call a single stance. So again, is to help to activate. So here, what we tend to do is while we prepare them for as a general work, when you go to specifics, we will maintain. But in competition situations, we also use this as part of warm-up as well. So again, it is to create that activation aspect of it. So again, before we do some what I call technical jumps for that period, we will use this as part of activation to help to prepare for the jumps. Okay, here again, a single leg activity. So again, a lot of it is for kinesthetic explosion through the bone, through the joints, and to support the power transitions. Here, normally what I've done is I will use elastic bands. So not just to load, but to create that what I call a challenge to the core muscle. We let it dangle with the weight plates. So as the athlete is moving, the swinging of the weight plates create a lot of tension in the core muscle area. So again, we want to not just train them in a very static movement. We want to train the muscles in a more dynamic environment. Okay, again, single leg, what I call deadlift, but with, again, a slight explosive movement to create that change. So here what we have done, again, we mentioned about working bilaterally. So the first one is to work with double dumbbell skipping action. And then we move to what I call single dumbbell So again, a lot of proprioception takes place when he does with single dumbbell, and he still has to do the same skipping action. So he has to do a lot of control around his core muscle. Okay, we also use a lot of these spinner bikes, stationary bicycles for speed creation. So again, more isolation and then tension in the core area, and then still have the limbs to coordinate and move as fast as possible. So again, a little bit more specific for warm-up. And if you were to compare the other athlete, you can see a lot of shuffles takes place at the upper body. So again, a lot of leakage of energy can be observed if you look at the two athletes in comparison. Okay, one is a little bit more what I call neutral, the other one a lot more instability. So again, we are trying to look for more reducing energy leakage through proper posture control. And this is where, if you can remember, the local stabilizer to global stabilizer to global mobilizer. So these three things are always focused in our training. Okay, again, a lot of coordination. All the four limbs are doing completely different actions. So again, constantly to see how he copes with this movement. So, and then multi-directional as well, to allow a lot of sensory going to the body to prepare itself. Okay, this is with some takeoff drills. Again, focusing on quick rhythm orientation, where to place the foot, how fast to put the foot down, so take off. So again, to help to drive the active last few steps into the takeoff for a long jump. Okay, rather than doing a double leg landing throughout, we kind of changed here the orientation, where the raised platform is always force you to do another action. So again, creating the variety of movements. Okay, here again, another variation where the action done is movement of all the four limbs doing different, what I call rhythm. And then, of course, these are a little bit more specifics to jumping. So hop, hop, then step, take off. So to create that orientation, rhythm sensing that's needed. So what we want in the overall aspect of this outcome that we're looking for is definitely what I call optimizing the process of perceptions. That means how they are taking information on and how we're going to help them. Followed by what I call improving the general concentration and the general coordination skills. So this is where we're improving the ability to stay focused and try to achieve a better performance. Optimizing of motion control, and of course, regulation of action. This is where we want to maximize how they're able to perform a certain action, and then we want to regulate what are the actions needed to help us. Developing of creativity in solution game situations. So this is where, as coaches, we want to not just do always the same thing over and over again. And because coordination is such a interesting element, we can get very creative if we know how to play with it. Okay, again, remember, we have 2 arms, 2 legs, okay, and then we can make use of the different directions as well. So all this can be used for all of our benefit of preparing the athletes. Definitely, when you do a lot of these multilateral movements with different limbs moving different, we actually strengthening the core muscle, which is critical because it helps to upright hold body posture to execute other things. And definitely improve the total body stability and prevent injury. And the last one is what's important is the enlargement of movement variation reserve, so that the athlete has so much of this that they can use it as a template anytime, anywhere they want. Okay, with that, I thank you guys for your attention. Feel free to ask questions. We can take it from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Pak Vira.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome.
So we will have another break, 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes.
Any questions? Nobody?
Oh, yes, sorry.
No, sorry, no worries, no worries. Any
Question
questions?
first,
Anybody?
please. Please.
If there's any question, please feel free to ask.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have one question.
Mhm. Yes.
Yes. Santoshi, maybe?
Yeah, if we have injury, it's an exercise that prevent injury.
Sorry, again, repeat again.
Are you hearing me? For the injury prevention and treatment, if we do.
Okay, Santoshi, sorry, can you repeat again because you're breaking up, so I couldn't hear you clearly. Sorry. Repeat one more time. I think maybe connection problem.
Santoshi?
Yeah.
Yes, I think she is because I saw her on the field.
Yeah, I saw, I'm seeing her, but
Stabilization exercise. Right?
Yes, stabilization exercise. Yes. What is it about? Okay. I think she seems to be going in and out, so connection is not comfortable. Okay, Santoshi, I'm around. Not to worry. Keep your question. We will go for a break now, and then you can ask me again the question during the break. Okay. Yeah, Santoshi, a lot of. Okay, Santoshi, a lot of background support for you. We cannot hear you clearly. Is it okay? You can get your friends to.
Yeah, my question is. Is an exercise directly related to injury than the core exercise?
I can see you mentioned about core exercise. What related to the core exercise? That part I did not catch.
Yeah. Okay, I will send the chat in the chat.
Okay, you chat. Oh yeah, that will be good. You type it in the chat, then I can take it from there. Yes. But in the meantime, we can go for a short break if you all want, and then we'll come back and then have the answer for everybody's benefit. Okay, so you can type the text, the question in the text.
Okay.
Yes, definitely. The question she asked is, does stabilization exercise directly related to injury prevention and treatment other than core exercise? What's the effect? Okay, for sure. Again, a lot of stabilization exercise, it is how we teach our joint. So if you can remember the local stabilizer that Pak Ria shared, okay, it is where we are teaching the body to able to hold the joints within certain range. If the joint movements are what I call abrupt or changes a lot, that's where injury takes place. So in here, what we want to see is a lot of strength activities when we do. We want to focus on joint stability exercise. Like again, when we do like what I call a simple plyometric ankle jumps. Even a very light takeoff and landing teaches the body the kinesthetic feedback to knowing that how to absorb the drop and maintain stability. Again, remember we don't want too many shifts in the body's energy aspect of it. When that happens, that's where injury takes place. When there's a lot of movement in the joints, that causes injury potentials. So stabilization exercise does help a lot, not just purely from what I call holding the positions, but also ascending into the position. Okay, so probably maybe when Ekavit shares about his strength, probably we can touch a little bit more in that. Thank you, Santoshi, for the question. Okay, if not, then thank you, everyone. I will hand the time back to Ibuya and then to Pak Kawit. We'll see you back again in the afternoon later.
Thank you so much, Pak Fira. No question? You still have time? Okay, then. So you still have time to ask later if you have a question to
And
Pak Fira.
throughout the day as well, because we are still going to be here. So ask questions. The more questions you ask, it's easy to know that you are catching the concepts. So very good questions.
Okay, so Pak Eka, you would like to start directly, or we will have?
We can have 1 minute break.
Sorry, Pak.
We can have 5 minutes break.
Okay, so we will have 5-minute breaks. Thank you.
You hear me?
Yes, I can
Okay.
hear it.
Is it hot in Thailand?
Very hot.
Yeah, that's why I can see your spectacle looks cool.
I'm always look cool. I will look more cool when you come to Bangkok.
Sure. We'll make a trip there.
Okay, let's do share screen.
Yeah.
Everybody here?
Everybody here? You hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Yes, very clear.
Yes.
Can I start?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
sir.
please. Okay.
Yes, Pak Eka, please.
Thank you. Very good morning for everybody.
Morning, sir.
Nice echo.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning.
Okay. This morning, I would like to thank to Miss Ria, Mr. Ria, Viramani, my co-lecturers, and also thank you everybody who is here to share an idea with us this morning. And I not say I'm lecture you, but I would like to say I'm sharing the idea with you, and hopefully you can share your idea with me for this morning. This morning in the first unit of mine, I will talk about the speed training. Okay. Speed is one of the physical performance, and also speed is play a big role in athletic. Right now, you can see in the marathon competitions at the finish line, who faster, they win the competition. In soccer, in volleyball, in tennis, in 100 meters, in 200 and 400 meters, it's always they can move with very high speed. This morning, I will discuss with you four issues. First issue will be what is speed, and second, how many type of speed. Then why speed is important, and last but not least, how to do speed training. How to do speed training. Okay. Hello.
Yes,
So
yes.
first,
Yes, we are here.
Yes, you are audible.
Ria, the voice is okay? Ria?
Yeah, Pak?
Yes.
The voice is okay?
Yes, it's okay.
Yes, very clear. Okay, thank you. Firstly, speed is the capacity to travel or move quickly. When you move quickly, it means you use speed. When you do more quick, it means more speed. Normally, speed is the ratio between space and time. A space and time. In physics, it's meter per second. In physics, the speed is meter per second. And in running, especially when you talk about a middle long distance and the race competition or the race pace, we will talk minute per kilometers. How many minutes? Right now, marathon, they run under than 3 minutes per kilometers. They are very fast. They are not slow anymore. Okay. Last but not least, when you drive a car, it's how many kilometers per hour. So it means speed is the ratio between space and time. Okay, now we talk about how we can classify speed into how many types. A speed has so many types of speed. If you understand that, and if you understand what is how many type of speed, and you know them exactly, then you can train speed correctly. First one is the whole body speed. Sprinters, soccer players, when they do sprinting, this is the whole body speed. The second one is the limb speed. The limb speed, it play the big role in whole body speed. Because in the whole body speed, when you do sprinting, you have to pick up the knee or to drive the knee. If the limb speed drive the knee is the limb speed. So the knee drives, so you cannot run fast. So limb speed is the key performance for whole body speed. Third one is the reaction. How fast you can react from the situation, how fast you can brake when you have the car cutting in front of you, when you drive on the road. This is reaction. How fast you can increase speed is mean the acceleration. How fast you can increase speed. Quickness normally is like a speed, but for me, quickness is immediately speed. It's like a on your mark, boom, and you can leave from the block start immediately. That is quickness. It's not only coordination, movement, but quickness is you can do a speed immediately in different situation. Maximal speed. Not many sport can get maximal speed. Even 400, they cannot run with the maximal speed. You understand me? So the maximal speed mostly will be at the 100 meters. Mostly 100 meters. When they can get into maximal speed in 100 meters? This is the question. When? Where? When the athlete run 100 meters, when they get into the maximal speed? Hello?
Middle of after 60, 80, after 20 meter and before 80 meter.
Good. After 60 meters, mostly after 60 meter to 80 meter. That's the moment they have a maximal speed. Yeah, okay, good. Thank you. Speed endurance. Okay, can you mute your microphone? Hello? Thank you. Next will be the speed endurance. Speed endurance is mean you can maintain your high speed as long, like a 400 meters, 200 meters, 100 meters at last 20 meters. That is the speed endurance. Yeah. Optimal speed or maximum controllable speed. Optimal speed is very important, especially when you are few event. When you are few events, throwing, jumping, this is you have to use optimal speed. You cannot use the maximal speed when you do the run up long jumps. You cannot use your maximal speed when you run up the javelin throws. This is you have to control maximal controllable speed when you do the run up of the javelin throw, the run up of the triple high jump, because the triple and high jump is not maximum speed, it's controllable speed. Next, speed of changing direction, or we can say this is as agility. Many activity in throwing event, that is agility. Turning around in shot put and discus, this is agility. You changing direction. You are changing direction. That is, you use agility. So the athlete, it should not do only sprinting. They have to do some agility training too. Okay. Last but not least, speed of the rhythms. Tang tang in long jump. Tang tang tang. Tang 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 in javelin throws. In hurdlings. That is rhythm, and how fast you can create the rhythm of the feet between the hurdles. How fast you can create the rhythms of your feet when you do sliding to throw the shot, or you can how fast you can turn and throw the shot or throw the disc. How fast you can do 5-step rhythms of the javelin throws. That is the speed of the rhythms. So see, it's so many types of speed. It's not only sprinting. This is also in athletic. Limb speed also you use for javelin throws, shot put, discus. This is also you use the limb speed because you have to use the arm and the hand to throw the implement. That's why speed is so many. Okay. Why speed is important? In track competition, if you are faster, especially at the end of the race or at the finish line, you win the race. In many sports, if your athlete faster and can get into better position, you get advanced to play the equipment. That's why speed is so important nowadays in many kind of sport. Not only in sprinting, in football, in basketball, in volleyball, sepak takraw, boxing, even boxing also very fast right now. So that's why I give you an idea why we have so many type of speed. Now, when we talk about how to do speed training is not sprinting. It's not only sprinting. You have to do so many components to increase the acceleration, to increase the speed of sprinting or speed of the rhythm, or to increase the agility or to increase the reaction. But to increase the reaction, Mr. Vira already mentioned you this before I start to lecturing, because he talk about the coordination, and that is the reaction is the focus and awareness and the perception processing and a stimulation into the brain, and after that the brain respond to the situation. That is reaction. So reaction is the brain. Reaction is not the body. Okay, the acceleration is speed and agility. Firstly, if you want to increase the speed, Vira already mentioned you a lot of information and a lot of kind of exercise to increase the coordination and the perception ability of the athlete and perception ability of the brain of the athlete. And then if the athletes can have better ability of the perception, they can learn movement faster. If the athletes have perception ability, the coordination is getting better. When the coordination getting better, it mean a technical movement getting better. A technical movement getting better, it mean a skill of the athletes getting better. When the athletes getting better of the movement, it mean the athletes getting faster because they use less energy. Second one, if you want to have a speed, you must have a power. You must have a power. Then we discuss later what is power, okay? And then before you have a power, the athletes must have a maximal strength. Before the athletes have a maximal strength, they must have a foundation of strength. They must have a core body strength. They must have the joint strength. They must have a stability. Then they start to train maximal strength, and after that you change the maximal strength to be the maximal power or the speed strength, and you combine your power and coordination together. The athletes will have better speed, agility, and acceleration. So if we want to train speed, it doesn't mean we have to train sprint. Okay, so we can have to do so many things. Sprint is also very important to increase the speed of the athlete, but sprinting come later. You have to do a coordination and a power, and then you can sprint better. Okay. Last but not least, the next ones, you have to do balance and stability. Before I talk about the balance and stability, Vira already mentioned you. The balance and stability play a big role in coordination and play a big role in speed training also. However, in the speed training, you have to add some flexibility, dynamic flexibility, and also mobility. You have to increase the joint function mobile, and you have to increase the flexible and the elasticity of the muscle. So it means if you want to train speed, you have to do so many things. You have to do a lot of. You have to do. You have to do a lot of coordination movements, especially when they are young. You have to do a variety of movement, increase the brain function to control the movement of the young athlete, and then easier when you train them when they are getting grown, when they are mature, when they are getting to adult, or to be the athlete, senior athlete, when they have a better brain to control the movement or to control the coordination, it's easier to increase the speed of the athlete. You have to do the power and the strength of the athlete. A lot of exercise. This morning, Paria already mentioned, you not train one muscle group, but you have to train many muscle group in the same time. So when you use the strength training exercise, you have to select more compound than isolate. Balance and stability. Right now in the sport training, it's a lot of balance and stability training. So more and more important, more now the athlete do more balance and stability training than in the past. You can use equipment or you can use your own body weight. Mr. Ria already mentioned this morning about the core stability. And to improve the elasticity of the muscle and also to improve the mobility of the joint. Here in javelin throws is the mobility. Here is the flexibility. Here is the flexibility. Okay. First one, I will talk about the whole body speed. When we talk about the whole body speed, mostly in athletic, we talk about sprinting or how to run fast. Here is the method. In the method of training, we have two types of method. First one is direct method. If you want to do a whole body speed training, you have to do coordination. A coordination is a sprint drills. A skip, B skip, A run, B run, straight leg bounce, bounding, alternate bounce, fast leg, single fast leg, double fast leg, alternate fast leg. This is all the coordination for the sprint, for the speed improvement. Then you have to do running or sprinting. This is the direct method. And also in direct method, you have to do a strength training. Yeah, strength training, we discuss later. Then we have to do a plyometric training. A plyometric training is a stretch shortening cycle when we will discuss later. Now we talk about the direct method. The direct method, when we talk about the acceleration and the maximal strength and the maximal speed. Yeah. If we mention you about this morning, we also talk about how to improve the energy system. But you have to use the energy system knowledge, apply into real training situation. Here, we want to increase the acceleration and the maximal speed. Then, how long we have to do? It's only 5 to 6 seconds. Only 5 to 6 seconds. How many percent? If maximal intensity, you have to do 95 to 100%. I normally, if you want to increase the velocity, maximum velocity, you have to go 100%. What kind of the energy supply? Energy system supply is an aerobic electric energy system. Okay, What kind of the training method we use? A speed repetition. A speed repetition when we talk later. Next will be the speed endurance. So the energy system is anaerobic lactic energy system. Anaerobic lactic energy system. And then how many seconds we have to do? It means 7 to 60 seconds. How we can train speed endurance? What is the distance you use for your athlete when you train speed endurance?
150 meters as well as 300 meters.
Good.
150 meters around 5 to 6 with walk back rest.
Yeah, good. Thank you. 150 meter is good distance to train this speed endurance, especially for the 100 meter sprinter. That's good. That's good. 150 meters. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Optimal speed. Optimal speed.
400 meters.
Yep.
Speed endurance 400 meters. 400 meters.
400 meters.
200. 400
Yeah. 400 meter, maybe you can do
250 meters.
Yeah, 250, 300, 350. Sometimes you do
350.
spatial. So sometimes you do spatial endurance, not only speed endurance. You
Speed
can go,
endurance. Yes, sir.
yeah, you can go 500 for over distance for 400 meters.
For 100 meters.
Yeah.
For 100 meters.
450 can do too. That is spatial endurance, not a speed endurance. Speed endurance will less than 400. 300, 250, 250.
300.
Yeah, because they can use
No,
more.
no.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. And also optimal speed. This is the rhythms. Yeah, you have to do with the rhythms. Mostly optimal speed will get into a rhythms. When you do the approach run, what is the rhythm you hear from the approach runs? From the approach run. Dum, 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 dum. This is the rhythm. And also last but not least, agility. Oh, Mr. Valerie. Nice to meet you here. Okay, let's me talk, and anything you want to add, please add. Okay. Agility, anaerobic, lactic, and also repetition. Repetition. But in agility, the technical movement is more important because you have to do this direction changing all the times. But last but not least, the last sentence, I want to remind you to do speed training. Less can be more. When you athlete get fatigued, that's enough. Don't finish your program when you do sprint training. It means you write with the program. If the program is properly and the athlete still survive in training, okay, you follow your program. But when you use your program and the athlete get fatigued, when your time and the time is reduced, in the time is getting more and more, it means that not a speed training anymore. Okay, less can be more. Whole body speed, indirect method, weight training, power training, combine complex training, utilization, resistance run. This is you can use power training. Plyometric, a plyometric, jumping exercise or jumping exercise, bounding, jumping, single leg jumps. Sometimes you can do uphill running. But you also have to train flexibility, mobility to increase range of motion. The method you have to use PNF to increase the ability of the joint to move. Okay. Now we talk about the limb speed. Normally, limb speed is not only in javelins. Limb speed is also in sprinting. Because when you have better frequency, it means the limb speed of the leg is getting more and more. That's why the limb speed is play a big role in every movement. Here, a technical drills, you do a technical training. Is part of technical training is the limb speed training. Part of the technical movement, whole technique movement. This is we do the limb speed. Then they do the throwing. They throw the javelins, and this is not only from the low part of the body, but it's also from the limb. It means they must have a very fast hand or the very fast arm. So when you do the indirect method, you can use to modify the modification of the implement, lighter implement to increase the speed of the throwing, heavier implements to increase the power of the thrower arms, and also to combine both heavy and lighter implement. Now we talk about the reaction. The reactions, when we talk about the reaction, that is the perception processing of the brain. The perception of processing of the brain. Normally, reaction is the starting point of the response, of the responsiveness. Why? What we have to do? We have to increase the sense of audio. We have to increase the sense of visualize, and we have to increase the sense of tactile. But we don't forget to teach the athlete focus and awareness, and to increase the perception ability. In 100 meters, on your mark, pang, you have only one chance to do. You have only one chance in the competition to do the start. You cannot do the foul start. If foul start, you have to out of the competition. So the sense of audio, you not only increase the sense of audio or hearing, you have to increase the sense of visualize, seeing, and you have to increase the speed of the touching to react to the situation. You can play with the time, short and long. On your mark, pang. On your mark, pang. On your mark, pang. So every time, short and long, you at least still have focus and awareness and react to the audio. Intensity stimulation, you can use high or low. Position, you can use sitting position, standing position, lay down in back, lay down in tummy, or you are in the starting position, or you combine so many movement. You can buy sense of audio, time, short, and positioning to increase the ability of the brain function to perceive the stimulation, and then the athletes can react to the situation very fast. Speed of the variation, speed of the various sport. So speed is not used only in athletic. Speed is used for many sports. Now I am working with many sports. I work with tennis players. I work with golf players. I work with soccer players. I work with swimmer. So if you have an idea how to train speed, you can work with many kind of sport. Yeah? Because when you understand how to train speed, the athletes who need speed will come to you. You know, golf is not only accuracy sport. Golf is a speed sport. Because when they hit the driver, they evaluate is how fast the speed of the driver. If you have a good speed of the driver, it mean the driver have 130 miles per hour. 130 miles per hour. That is the speed of the driver of the golf players. It means speed is also play a big role even in golf players, in golfer. So this is speed of the rhythms. Here, thumb, 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 thumb. This is the speed of the rhythm, and the speed of the rhythm you have to set it belong to the rhythm of that sport. Okay, in athletic, the rhythm is the same. In the hurdles, tap 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 tap. In javelin throw, tap 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 tap. In javelin throw, in shot put throw, tap tap tap. In discus throw, tap tap tap. So the speed of the rhythm of the athletic is always almost the same. But in many kinds of sport, the speed of the rhythm always change. Always change. That's why we have to learn some sport, and then you learn some sport, and then you have more creative to teach your athlete. Speed for sport, you have to understand the fact of competition. You have to know the duration of competition. You have to know the type of the energy supply. You have to know the direction of the movement, type of skill close or open. You have to know technical and tactical. You have to know the performance of the opponent. Then how long of the competition? When you see soccer play how many minutes per half? When you see soccer, 45 minutes. 45 minutes, yes, 45 minutes per half. It means they play 90 minutes, the whole competition, and maybe sometime more. You see? When you see boxing, it's how many rounds? Thai boxing, 5 rounds. International boxing, 3 rounds. Each round, how many minutes?
Wow.
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Yes, 3 minutes. Okay. When you see volleyball, how many sets? Minimum they have to play 3 sets. 3 sets. When you see badminton, it's
Per second.
double single. Okay, don't worry. When you see badminton, it's how many points?
21.
21. And you see, if you know this situation and then you analyze, and then you have to add your speed training and also specific speed training for many kind of sport. Think about athletic. If you can train different kind of sport, and then you can train easily. Okay. Energy system. What is the energy system?
Energy system के बारे में क्या है?
Anaerobic, lactic, anaerobic, lactic, aerobic, glycolysis, aerobic, fat. So game, rhythm, tempo. Yeah, and also event specific endurance is mean all the energy system are working together in the same time. Okay. Variety of the movement maintains speed in fatigue condition that Vira already mentioned this morning. Yeah. Obstacle disturbance is also play a big role in adaptation of speed in many kind of sport. Game duration that already mentioned. Technical movement variation or combination. This is a lot of information when you work with different sport, not only in athletics. This is the energy system. You already mentioned me, anaerobic lactic, anaerobic lactic, anaerobic lactic, fat and glycogen. This is more fat. This is more fat. Okay. So the energy system also play a big role in sport training. If you understand the energy system, then you understand how to train the athlete. Now become one of the very important table. This is the table you have to use when you do sprint training or speed training. When we talk about the speed training, you have to see we have to decide when we want to decide the speed training program. This is the training parameter you have to consider. First, the intensity. Second, the distance, how many meters the athlete have to run. Third, repetition per set, how many repetition per one set. How many minutes recovery between repetition. So how many, next one is how many set you have to set. You have to set up your training program. How many minutes recovery between the set. Total distance of the set. Total distance of the set. Total distance all together with the total. Sunetra, please. Thank you. Okay. When we know the training.
130-minute rest.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you. When we talk about acceleration, we want to train the acceleration. The intensity you have to use 95 to 100%. The distance you use less than 30 meters. Normally in athletic, we use 20 to 30 meters. How many repetition per set? 3 to 4. 3 to 4 repetition per set. How long recovery? 2 to 3 minutes. 2 to 3 minutes between the rep. How many set? 3 to 4 set.
2.
How long recovery?
4 set.
Later, okay. Later. Let me finish my presentation. How long recovery? 6 to 8 minutes per set. Total distance per set, 90 to 100 meters, 120 meters. Total distance together, all together, 350 to 450. What kind of the energy system in this kind of training? ATP-CP. This is the example. The athlete runs 30 meters, 4 times, 3 sets. My question is, how many minutes here? How many minutes rest between the rep? Here.
3 minutes.
How many minutes?
3 minutes.
3 minutes, good. And how many minutes between the set?
5 minutes.
6 to 8 minutes.
8 minutes.
8 minutes. Good. 6 to 8 minutes between the set.
5 minutes.
5 minutes can be, but sometimes it's too short. First set maybe can for the
5 minutes between the set.
Yeah, it's okay.
7 minutes.
Yeah, how many minutes?
7, sir.
7 is okay. Thank you. 7 is good time. It's a good time for recovery between the set. So this is the information. If you want to train acceleration, but if you want to train the maximal speed, the distance is getting more. See, the distance, the intensity is still the same, 95 to 100%. But the distance is getting more. The repetition still the same, but the recovery is getting more. because the distance is getting longer. Then the set is still the same, but the recovery between the set is getting longer. And the total distance is getting longer, 120 to 200. And the total distance is 400 to 600 meters. Because in this type of training, you also produce low lactate. The athletes also produce low lactate. Okay. The energy supply is ATP, CP is main, and also a little bit lactate. See, this is we do flying start 50 meters, 3 times, 3 set. How many minute rest here?
7.
Here.
5.
5.
4 to 6.
6. Yes, correct. 5, 6. And how many minute rest here?
7.
No.
No,
8 to 10. 8 to 10.
8 to 10. Yes, correct. Correct. Okay. Now we go to speed endurance. Now we go to speed endurance training. When we do speed endurance training, it's not mean you have to run 100% all the times. It means you have to go to 90 to 95%. But not only one. See, a distance is 75 to 150. The speed endurance. Yeah. And how many set? How many rep? 2 to 5. And you see this recovery is getting short. Even the distance is getting more. Why?
Because we are developing speed endurance.
Because it's a speed endurance. Yeah, because it's a speed endurance. We don't want them to have a complete rest. We want them to getting more and more tired. We want them to increase more and more blood lactate or lactic in the muscle cells. See? Because we want to activate the lactic energy system to add the ATP very fast when the athlete sprint 100 and 200. If the lactic not come, your sprinter will run 60 meters very fast, and then after that getting slow because the energy supply from the lactate is not enough and too slow. Okay, and this is how many set? 2 to 3 set, and recovery between the set 8 to 10 again. Yeah, and total distance 200 to 300. Total distance in the set, and this is total distance. See, this is the example. 150, 3 times 2 set, it means you run 6 times 150. Okay, at how many percent? 90, 95%. How many rest? 5 minutes. How many rest between the set?
2 to 5 minutes.
10 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes. Maybe sometimes you can
8 to 10
have more rest between the set.
10-minute rest.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
10-minute rest.
Yep, correct. Okay, this is only example. But
10-minute rest.
Yeah. Hello, Ashwani.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Sir, Ishita. Sir, previous you said that for the speed endurance, the distance, the duration is 7 seconds to 60 seconds, right?
Yes, yes,
for
correct.
the speed endurance.
Yes,
Now
yeah, correct.
here you mentioned 75 to 150 meter.
Yep.
The distance, we should focus on the distance or the duration because the athlete
okay.
is varied now for junior, for senior.
Yeah, yeah, I understood. I understand what you mean. But this is all. I only want to give you example only for real speed endurance. If getting more than 150, the athlete will getting slower. That is more in special endurance. Understand? Okay, thank you. Thank you. Very good question. Very good question. This is acceleration. This is the acceleration.
Coming up later on this summer, of course, you have to keep a cool head in all those pressurized situations. The first race of the season for the reigning world indoor and world outdoor champion, Christian Coleman. 5 times NCAA champion at Tennessee. He served his apprenticeship. Now he is the real deal. He goes in lane 4 in his first heat of the men's 60. Not a great start there from Coleman. Almost sort of stumbled, I think, but a pick up very quick indeed. He cruises through there. And his time for Coleman, 6.48. That is the fastest time in the world this year. That is quick from Coleman, and my word, there is so much more to come. Remember, his world record set on this track almost 2 years ago to the day is 6.34. But he shut down 10 meters out and more. Very impressive indeed. Marvin Bracey could run in second place, 6.53. Demet Kemp, 6.56. But Coleman, consummate. And I think we have to remember, don't we, Lara, that he's only 23. You know, this guy's getting better and better just because
Seems like we've been talking about him already for...
Coming up later on this...
This is how to do some training of the changing direction. This we can use also with our athletes, especially when they are the throwers. Because we want to train them the speed of the rhythm of the feet. The speed of the rhythm of the feet. So to do throwers, it's not only training in the ring, you can train everywhere.
What
is this? This is the stretch shortening cycle of the leg and the hip. Okay, now we don't forget to train speed of the rhythms in athletics. Many events in athletics need rhythm, especially in the technical movement of the throwers, of the jumpers, of the hurdlers. So the hurdler is simply used to train jumpers and to train throwers. If your throwers can do a good hurdlers, can be good hurdlers, it means they have a very good rhythm of the feet.
Well, this is Kishore Walcott.
This is rhythm.
Walcott. That's a big throw. Goodness me, Walcott, where on earth has he got that from? That is a huge effort. 90 meters and 16 centimeters, and welcome to the party for Sean Walcott. Sixth and final round of this javelin competition. It's getting confident. Hammers that one out. Oh, look at that. That is a sensational throw. That's can't be over the 90-meter mark. Have a look at this. He wallops it. He really is strong. And that was the best technically I've seen him. And that javelin is, well, it's going for the moon. The javelin with the Thomas Roller about to launch that 800-gram javelin away. Oh, what's he done with that one? Oh, I say! That is a sensational throw. That's way over 90 meters. Well, the question...
This guy throw almost hit the camera. You see, if you see. And what I feel happy, you know, because you see, now thrower is getting smaller, but they are very fast. See, the throwers getting smaller. They are not big like last time, like in the past. Now they're getting smaller, but very fast. Why? Especially in the javelin, because the javelin only 800 grams. Is the light in quick. Yeah. Okay.
Were asked, and the answer was given, quite frankly, 93 meters and 90. Wow. Sure, that puts him second on the all-time list behind Zelezny. Jumps above Yego Paviainen. That goes all the way back to 99 as well. What a...
And you know, another thing I also very happy because Olympic Games javelin throws is dominated by Asians, women China, men India. It's from Asia. This is we are proud about it.
Göteborgissa 2 vuotta myöhemmin kolmiloikasta muodostui todellinen hyppyjuhla.
Valerie, we happy about this?
Yes, 18-9.
17-19. Edwardsin ensimmäiset loikat näissä maailmanmestaruuskilpailussa ja se on 18 metriä. Ja valkoista väriä näytetään. Siinä oli tyrmäysisku kaikille muille. Hän on pomptinut useasti yli 18, mutta aina on ollut liikaa tuulta takana. Uusi maailman ennätys kolmiloikassa mentiin muille. Edwards ei tyytynyt vielä tähän huipputulokseen. Tämä on pitempi. 18-16 ensimmäisellä ja nyt toinen hyppy. 29.
This is world record.
Till now.
I saw him jump one in Italy many years ago. He ran very fast. This guy is very fast.
1995. His 60 meters was 6.67 or 6.68 once he took part in the UK indoor championships in 60 meters.
Thank you, Varef. Okay, next. This is speed of rhythms, real speed of rhythms, a hurdlers.
So it's a clean start and a good start by Williams on the inside lane as expected. Harrison's got a little bit of work to do here. Going well in lane number 4. It's a battle between Jamaica and South Africa. And with a dip finish, wow, 12.87 seconds.
Okay, last but not least, this is I have to add some idea to do the reactions, to do the reaction training. It's not only things about on your mark, go, on your mark, go. Reaction training, you can create a lot of exercise. This is from, this is the example from basketball players. Okay. My idea is I don't want you to think only the exercise in our athletic training. You can use so many exercise to improve the athlete performance, especially to do the reaction, to do the rhythm, to train the reaction, to train the rhythm, to train the speed from different kind of sport. So learn more. Okay, in my times when I was young, we have to travel a lot to get the experience. Now, all the experience of the world are in your handphone. So you can learn from it. Then you no need to learn from me, no need to learn from Mr. Ria. You can learn from your handphone. It's a lot of information, but just warning you one, you must have enough foundation knowledge to optimize the exercise you select to your athlete. Not all the exercise in your handphone or in the social media. You can use to your athlete. You must have the foundation knowledge, and then you can select a proper exercise to your. Even the exercise from me, from Vera, from Miteria, also you have to think about that, and you have to select the exercise suitable to your athlete's performance. Thank you. Thank you. I think it's time, sir. You have 3 more minutes before lunch.
Hello, Mr. Ekawit.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, Mr. Ekawit.
Thank you,
sir. Yeah, sorry, Kap.
Very good.
I want to go back to the
Thank you, sir.
the training program just now, the parameter. Can we combine the parameter like we train acceleration and then we train the what just now? Speed, maximum speed at the same section?
Yeah.
Can. How about
Yeah.
acceleration and speed endurance at the same section?
Can.
So what is the volume of the distance?
If you want to do both, you have to reduce acceleration, and then after that you can do speed endurance in the same day, in the same training section. Can do that, but you have to do the acceleration first. Acceleration before below the energy system. You have to train ATP-CP first, and then you have to. After that, you can train lactate.
So we can join all three: acceleration, maximum speed, and endurance speed. Can do in one session.
It's very difficult.
Just two.
Just two. Yeah. If at least you have too many fatigue in one training section. Yeah.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Yeah.
Presentation would be shared in the group later on.
Vira will share you.
All the presentation.
Yeah.
Share?
Yep, correct.
Thank you.
Vira here.
Yes, I will do that later.
Okay. If no question, we can close. And what time we start? Hello.
It's 12 o'clock now.
Miss Ria, please, Piria.
Yeah, Pak. Thank you so much for your presentation. And now it's time for us to have lunch. So we will back to the class again in 1 hour, 1 o'clock, Jakarta, Bangkok time. Okay, thank you. See you in 1 hour.
No lunch for me, Buria.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you.
Hello, Pak J.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No lunch for me.
Vera.
Okay, see you later.
See you later.
Hello, Pak
See you,
Valerie.
Buria. See you later.
Apa kabar ya?
Baik,
Ada baik.
baik, Pak.
Valeri, apa kabar Pak Valeri?
Thank you.
Oh,
Pak Dwi,
Pak Dwi, apa
lunch,
kabar?
Pak.
Sehat.
Enggak
Ini
lunch, Pak Dwi.
ya,
Enggak lunch. Kan disuruh
ya.
lunch.
Mana ada lunch? Puasa tak ada. Okay, Pak Dwi, see you later.
Okay, see you
I also
later.
just came back from training.
Oke.
Ya pagi tadi ya.
Ya.
Ada latihan.
Oh, good. You still Bangkok?
Now I'm in Singapore already,
Singapore.
almost 3 months. Because had some family issues, my wife came back, so I decided to come back.
Okay.
Okay, Papa Dwi.
Okay.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you again. See you.
Okay.
Hello, Eka. How are you?
You're on mute. Eka,
Afira.
cannot hear you. Unmute.
Valeri, you look very good.
Thank you.
As always.
You look the same.
Same.
You look the same too, brother.
Same like you.
Yeah, correct.
No
How are you?
changes.